So Liverpool lose 3-2 away at Bournemouth. I waited a day or so to post this video. I needed time to gather my thoughts and just think about properly what I wanted to say really. Tepid performance, absolutely timid, tepid, awful, rotten to the core. The whole team from top to bottom, front to back, left to right, it's just rotten. And that stems on the pitch from the manager. Now, obviously there's been loads of speculation today online about Arne Slot this, sacked, out, gone. Do I want him gone? Personally, no. I think to sack a manager 6 months after winning the league title is ridiculous, really. Chelsea did it with Conte and Mourinho. I think Leicester did it with Ranieri as well. But Arne Slot is a problem, but he's not the problem. I think the powers above him, particularly Messrs Edwards and Hughes, have a lot to answer for, really. I think not getting him a central defender was a massive issue, because you probably knew really that Canate wasn't going to sign, similar to the way you knew that probably Trent wasn't going to sign. So I do think there's a massive problem at the football club. Now, getting rid of Arne Slot solves one problem, and that solves the problem of the manager, and maybe you get a new manager bounce. Do you bring in Stevie Gerrard? Probably not. You bring in Alonso? I wouldn't personally, because I think if you're going to bring Alonso in, you have to look at what happened, particularly at Manchester United with Ruben Amorim. You know, he wanted to play that similar system to Xabi Alonso, and it didn't work because he came in, you know, early on in the season, sort of October, November, didn't have any pre-season, didn't have any transfers to help him, other than I think a young Patrick Dorgu, who's turned out now to work. But so that's the thing with bringing Alonso in. If you're going to bring Xabi Alonso in, if they sacked him on Wednesday, you know, after if we got beat by, I don't know, Karabag, for example, and you sacked him on Wednesday, and you were going to bring Xabi Alonso in, you'd have to sign a central defender, because he plays with a back three. I think Alonso makes more sense in the summer. I think if they're going to sack it, Arne Slot, it will be an interim. It'll probably be Gerrard and McAllister, I think, as the interim, which I don't want personally. I don't think Gerrard's a good enough coach. A legend of the club, I just don't think he's a good enough coach, and I don't think he'll get much out of the players. Might get a couple of games and then it'll falter off. But ultimately, I do think Arne Slot needs to go now. It's not good enough, but it's not all his fault. You know, the players who are looking at themselves, of course they have, but you can't get rid of 21 players. You've got to get rid of the manager, unfortunately. But like I said, he is one of the problems at the club. It's those that are above. But hey, chin up Reds, and hopefully we can come out of Wednesday with a win and we march on up the Reds.